we're here now. Not long to go until what we're all waiting for, the sound of that opening bell. Make your case for your man.
I can't quite believe we're here. It's been a long, long road. It's almost a pinch yourself moment. Eubank Ben 3, October 93. That was the month that I was born in Manchester. And now we're here, part of the biggest British boxing story ever. It's an amazing feeling to be here. I think everyone's going to remember this event. Just look at the media attention here today. I've never seen anything quite like it. But for me, it's because of Chris Eubank Jr., the biggest name in British boxing outside of that heavyweight division. He's a huge star. And I think, to be honest, it's those big nights that he's been in, it's those big fights that he's had that is going to see him through on Saturday night. It's a monumental event. It's the first Ring Magazine event as well. So to see them put this on, a sold-out Tottenham Hotspur straight off the bat, it's incredible. Thank you to our partners, Matchroom, and thank you to the Ring Magazine. Thank you to His Excellency. But most of all, thank you to Chris Eubank Jr. for making this event what it is. And I'm looking forward to an absolute statement on Saturday night.
Ben, thank you. Absolute statement. Promoter Eddie Hearn, over to you to make your case for Conor Benn this weekend.
Yeah, just a few thank yous. Thanks to Rick. I knew this was coming. Do you know what I've been thinking?
It was coming.
Do you know what I've been thinking? Can I not even say a few thank yous or?
No.
Okay. Matchroom have to speak, right? So I'm going to switch it up. I'm just going to firstly say how proud I am of Conor Benn. What he's been through these last 2 years. And I can't wait for him to smash you to pieces on Saturday night. But Matchroom have to be represented. It up. I'm going to let someone else speak on my behalf. I'm going to let someone else speak on my behalf. I'm going to introduce you to scumbag number 2. Frank Smith, come and take over.
You don't have to be interested.
Okay.
Hello? Am I allowed to
Substitution.
speak, Chris? Good.
Frank, if Eddie's not speaking, do you think you're going to get a word in? Come on.
No, but I don't speak as long as he does. That's the one thing I'll give you. I'll be very quick.
We're going to have some parliamentary procedure today, and anything that Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, or Frank Smith have to say is irrelevant and will not be heard.
Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate your kind introduction.
No problem.
Appreciate it. Look, I'm going to be very quick because I don't want to get cut off.
You are
going to
be very quick.
I'm going to be very quick,
You're
Chris.
not going to say anything.
Chris, don't worry.
You are no different to
I'm
Eddie
saying
Hearn.
something, aren't I? So, it seems to be working so far.
There's
Thanks
no
very
little
much,
way
Chris.
you guys are
Chris,
going to
sorry, I
wiggle
can't hear
anything
you.
in. If I direct a question to you or to Eddie, then you can speak.
It's very honourable of you.
Outside of that, I don't want to hear a peep. And if
Thank you very much.
Talk to me, or if you try and do your little speeches to the media, I'm
Yep.
going to shut it down. Because guess what? People aren't here to listen to you already speak. They want to hear what me and Conor have to say.
I don't
That's
disagree
not
with
gonna
that, but
change.
people weren't here to
Doesn't
hear
matter how
your
much
promoter
time
speak,
you're going
but
to waste
you
here.
allowed him to speak.
You're not going to out-talk me. You're not going to out...
No, I wouldn't dare out-talk you. I
I
know I can't out-talk you, Chris.
Exactly.
You're a very good
So I
talker.
don't know why you're on the stage, but you should probably get Eddie back in.
It was just to
He's
help
got
my
a better
profile.
chance of saying anything than you do. Trust me.
Oh, really?
Eddie's irrelevant, but you are...
Super irrelevant.
Exactly.
I know.
So
I
you
know. I'm
definitely
so
should go.
irrelevant. You called me a scumbag in a press conference. It was nice of you
I
to bring
did.
up my name. Thank you very
I
much.
did call you a
But anyway,
scumbag.
I'm going to be very quick.
I
I've
know
been
you're
lucky
going to be
enough to
quick.
work
I
with
told
Conor
you
Benn for
already.
many, many years. Thank
There
you,
are
Chris.
no
I'm talking.
words that you're going to say here that get past the fact that I've said you're not speaking.
Okay.
So we can do the back and forth,
Yeah.
and it can get boring.
It could get very boring, so I'll end it here.
It will get boring.
I
that's
can't
right.
wait for Saturday
But guess
night.
what?
It's going to be a great night.
I don't mind
Thank
if it
you to
gets
the Ring
boring.
Magazine. Thank you to Turkey Al Sheikh. That shut
Okay,
you up, didn't it?
congratulations.
Thanks very
You got
much.
2 words in. Everybody, give him a clap. He did a great job. He tried his best.
Thank
Right.
you very much for immensely
Who else
helping
is
my
speaking
profile.
now?
Thank
'Cause
you. I'll pass it
done
on now to
listening.
people more important than myself.
Yeah. Okay.
And thank you for
Have a
having
good
me up
day.
here.
Have a good day.
Just before we hear, of course, from
Sorry.
Chris and Conor, 2-weight world champion, Mr. Nigel Benn, is in the house here as well this evening. Nigel, this is what you and Chris Eubank Sr. started.
Yep.
And here we are, 32 years on after your last meeting. Your sons relight the flame once again.
Yep.
What are your thoughts, your feelings? What's been, as well, the biggest piece of advice you've passed on to Conor this week?
Do you know what? I watched him. You know the saying goes, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But what happens in Mallorca, I'm telling. I am telling. And I'll tell you about Conor's sparring, and God is my witness. First, he started sparring with Denzel Bentley, super middleweight, but really at light heavy. Had his hands full with Conor. I mean, Conor was just going through it, 10 rounds, done it easy. Then he was sparring with a guy that knocked out Munguia, Bruno. I can't remember his last name. Suarez. Been sparring with him. Another light heavy. Conor was bullying him around. And then to put the cherry on top, he started sparring with a guy called William Skull, an IBF champion, who's fighting a week after Conor. Coming there 12-handed. Shouldn't say it, but you know what? Because for the last 2 years, all I've been here negative. I'm going to tell you about my son. First 4 rounds, him and Conor were even Stevens, and they were going, oh, perfecto, 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 every time he was hitting Conor. Conor was just walking him down. Then about round, I think 5, he was like, no, because Conor only has 40 seconds rest. And then what he was doing in between the middle of the rounds, he was sitting on the rope because he was tired. Then it came to round 5, 6, 7, started feeling the pace. This is William Skull, IBF champion.
Superstar.
And then after that, no, you can't shut me up, mate, because you ain't been where I've been.
I'm not trying to shut you up. I'm enjoying
But anyway,
the story.
but then what happened, round 8 came.
Uh-oh.
And then, Tony, we looked at each other and we thought, he just quit. He just stopped. Couldn't take no more. After 8 rounds, I meant to be doing 10 rounds. And me and Tony looked at each other and think, what the friggin' hell just happened there? And I got my boy and I thought, my little boy. He just damaged the IBF world champion. And you know what it is? I am so confident this don't go past 4 rounds. I know my son. Back him all the way. And Conor's not a 12-round fighter. He's an old school fighter that can do 15 rounds. But you're going to see him, mate, the power that he's got. No one ain't seen him for the last 2 years. Oh, my gosh. You lot are in for a treat. Mark my word. You are in for a big, big treat. Thank you all very much.
Nigel Benn, two-weight world champion. Thank you very much. Here we go then. Let's hear from the fighters, both sides of Saturday's main event. Firstly, Mr. Chris Eubank Jr. Chris, you told the DAZN broadcast this week that you are at peace. There is no chip on your shoulder. Despite all of this and everything that is seemingly at stake on Saturday night, what is helping you to have that feeling of tranquility right now?
I know what's coming. I prepared my whole life for these moments. I've put the time in. I've dedicated decades to this sport. And I've done it all without cheating, without cutting any corners. And I'm proud of that. The mentality I have, the experience I have, the fortitude, and the will is what I will be using on the night to take out my adversary in Conor Benn.
Conor, you've been on big stages, under the spotlight, since you turned professional. For both of you, big shoes to fill. But on Saturday night, when you ring walk in front of over 65,000 fans and everything that's on the line, how have you remained in control of your emotions on a week like this?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is what I do. I love this game. This is what I live for. You know, this is every fighter's dream when they turn professional to live this life. You know, there was no more pressure than a 19-year-old kid with no amateur experience walking out to a packed O2 arena. That's pressure. You know, I've been doing this for 10 years and you know, I'm more than prepared, more than ready. You know, I wish it was Saturday night tonight.
Chris, you have said the procedure will be parliamentary. You know what that means, but for those of us who don't know, can you paint that in a picture for us? What does that look like on Saturday night?
You know, Conor speaks about pressure and dealing with it, but you know, there's a reason why he had his training camp in Spain. You know, the kid had to flee his own country to prepare for this fight. He knew that he couldn't handle the pressure of, you know, walking these UK streets and having people shouting out drug cheat and egg jokes. He didn't want to be involved in any of that. So he took himself away, he hid away, and, you know, now he's back, and now he thinks he can use me to kind of get back into the good graces. You know, I haven't fled. I haven't hid away from anything. I've been in these streets. I've been to gyms all over London over the last 2 months. I've been and spoke to kids. I've done all the media obligations I've needed to do around the country. I've felt the energy on the streets of the UK over these last 2 months, and it's real. You know, people are invested in this. You know, everywhere I go, people are screaming, and most of the time it's positive, which is it's a new thing for me. I'm still getting used to that, but you know, I am happy with the place I am at mentally. I don't think Conor can say the same thing. I think he's feeling the pressure and the heat. I think he's feeling that, and he's going to feel a hell of a lot more in a couple of days' time.
If the procedure is to be parliamentary, Conor, what's on your manifesto of what happens? And in response to Chris, are you feeling the pressure?
No, no pressure. You know, I live for this. I've had the fight over 100 times in my head. You know, for me, it's just focusing on the training, you know, removing myself from my comfort zones, my familiarities, my family, and, you know, fully dialing in. You know, I'm not going to lie myself to Chris and go back and forth, and, you know, all that PR's done. I'm excited to get in there and put my hands on him Saturday night, irrelevant of all the rubbish he wants to talk and you know, names, and, you know, we're not at school, and come Saturday night I get to put my hands on him.
You will be at school on Saturday, my friend. I'm taking you right to school.
Well done, you.
At school, I'm going to be the headmaster, my friend.
Yeah.
And you will be in detention.
You are funny, Chris. You made me laugh. Just focus on getting away off, fat boy.
Weight. What's weight? Weight is, everyone always talking about this weight thing. You know, yeah. The weight is painful.
Yeah, good.
I'm in pain right now. I'll be in even more pain tonight and tomorrow morning.
And the worst pain you've ever experienced comes Saturday night. I promise you that right now.
No, the question I ask myself is, what is pain?
Oh, shut up, Chris.
No, I'm serious. What is it?
Oh, shut up. You're going off. Oh, God.
I have a 31-year-old brother. He's buried in the desert in Dubai. That's pain. You know, I have his son, Raheem, 3 years old. You know, he asks, why can't I see my daddy? Why doesn't he take me to school? That's pain. My own father, a man I idolized for my entire life, and he doesn't speak to me. We haven't spoken for years, and he thinks I'm a disgrace. You know, these things are what pain is to me. And if I can deal with all of these trials and tribulations, then the weight cut and the rehydration clause, these are all things that are not an issue. They are not important.
Okay. Chris, in the build-up to the original date, you said 60% is what you'll be, and 60% will be enough. What percent will you be on Saturday, and what percent will be enough to beat Conor Benn?
Yeah, we're not doing the percentages anymore. That was for the first time around before Conor got caught cheating. Now it's about, you know, preparing to get this kid out of boxing. We're not taking him lightly anymore. You know, he should have taken the chance he had in that first fight. When I was underestimating, when I was, you know, playing, when I was taking him lightly, that was his best shot. And now it's gone, because now I have a duty to boxing, to the public, to the fans who he's lied to, who Eddie Hearn's lied to for the last 2-3 years. I have a duty to erase these guys from the picture.
Conor, the Ring magazine reported in the last couple of hours that you have requested for Billy Joe Saunders to inspect the raps of Chris Eubank Jr. on Saturday.
Don't ruin all the surprises, Jamie.
Well, the Ring magazine reported it before.
Maybe not.
What do you make of that, Chris?
It's irrelevant. Hand wraps is not going to save Conor Benn from the ass kicking he's about to receive.
Ooh, scary. Ooh.
Conor, hearing you speak this week, you say what gets you out of bed on those early morning runs, it's the fear of losing to another man. What about the fear of losing to this man, Chris Eubank?
Yeah, listen, it's always personal. I'm a very emotional fighter. You know, I fight with my heart on my sleeve, and it's the way I've been my whole career. It's the only way I know. So for me, you know, he is another man. Yes, his name is Eubank, and I won't be losing to a fighter whose name's Eubank, especially not this man.
He says he has no game plan, Chris, just a hop, skip and a right hand, and that'll be all she wrote. Do you believe him?
No, I don't. But that's the beautiful thing about this sport. That doesn't matter what you believe. All that matters is what actually happens once that bell goes, and nobody knows what's going to happen until it happens. What I do know is whatever strategy, whatever game plan these people have come up with, nothing will prepare them for the fire that they're going to receive in a couple of days' time.
Final one to you, Chris. You did say it's impossible that this fight goes 12 rounds. As a final message, how do you beat Conor Benn on Saturday night in the dream scenario?
How do I beat Conor Benn? Any way I want to. You know, it's not about strength and speed and age and weight, all the things that you guys love to talk about. It's about dedication. It's about paying, who's paid their dues and who's done it clean, who's dedicated their life, who's real and who's fake. And I believe all of those categories are in my favor.
And Conor, final one to yourself. You've told us no game plan. You don't need a game plan. When that opening bell rings here at Tottenham Hotspur,
That's right.
what happens?
Yeah, I'm coming here to take his head off.
And just finally, Chris, Eubank supremacy. That's what you've kept talking about in the build-up to this fight. You can cement that on Saturday. Is that part of what comes with all of this occasion for you as well, personally?
Legacy indeed. I'm confident. You know, I still want that £1 million bet that Eddie Hearn said he wanted to do. Eddie, what's up, man? We going to put the mill on or what?
Am I allowed to talk now?
Well, I asked you a question, so of course. Get on the stage and answer.
Yeah, I'll talk. Firstly, I want to say how proud I am of Conor Benn.
No. When I said
Oh, no,
talk,
no.
I mean
That's
answer
all
the
right.
question.
No, you're all right. Have a day off, mate.
Are you going to fulfill the bet, or are you going to run away like the weasel that you are? I tell you what. So his excuse at the moment is he's going to get fined 100,000 by the board if he bets, and that's why he can't bet me this £1 million that he said publicly that he wanted to do. So how about I make it easier for you, and I'll put $1 million up, and you put 900,000 up. So I've covered the 100K fine that you're going to get that you can't afford to pay, and let's get it on that way. Let's put the money in escrow tonight. And winner takes all on Saturday. How about that?
As I said to your promoter over there, we will have a conversation with Mr. Smith. If I won't face any penalties on my licence, we can consider it. In the meantime, get back to the hotel, take that weight off, and get prepared to get an absolute spanking on Saturday night at Tottenham Hotspur.
That's what I thought. Always a way to weasel your way out of what you're supposed to be doing, which is honouring your word.
Okay, if Eddie won, Frank Smith, maybe you can.
What?
The bet?
I haven't got £1 million, mate. Do you think I'd be up here doing this? I'd be on a beach somewhere if I had that much money.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude the final press conference. Nearly time for the sound of that opening bell Saturday night. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. We're going to pose now for the face-offs. Thank you very much.
And here they are, ladies and gentlemen, face to face, the fighters here in our final press conference for the main event this Saturday, April 26th, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 12 rounds of boxing in the middleweight division. On the line, bragging rights and legacy, the undefeated Conor the Destroyer Benn and the three-time world champion Chris Next Gen Eubank Jr. It's all available live worldwide on DAZN and in the UK on Sky Sports box office, along with DAZN here in the UK. Face to face. 48 hours from now, it all comes to a head. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, London, England. It's about legacy. It's about bragging rights. Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. Saturday night, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's about legacy, it's about bragging rights. 12 rounds of boxing in the middleweight division. Conor the Destroyer Benn, Chris Next Gen Eubank Jr. Live worldwide on DAZN and in the UK on DAZN and Sky Sports box office. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, special thanks to Ring Magazine, the Bible of Boxing, and SNK Corporation, publisher of Fatal Fury City of Wolves.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.